Many of you blind fools out there know nothing about any empire or what always led empires. It was the religion, the science and the rule of law of one group of people. And you understand that when you read the Bible. And we were warned of this one group of people and their ideology. Religion hasn't brought peace to the world. Science has only created weapons of war to cause more unrest in our world. And the rule of law allows them to. Why did religion need a law? To tell the truth. It's to keep you from the truth. And evidence has proven this. Why does science need a law? To force their medicines on you. Because it kills you. As the evidence is now proven in America, 300,000 people are dying each year because of their medicines. This is the system brought to the people of Ireland many times by the British Empire, and we rose up. Because once upon a time you were all full of the truth, but now you're full of the liars. You believe their laws that allow you to be homosexual, gay marriage is acceptable. Well, that's the rule of law that recently annihilated 1 million innocent Iraqis, bankrupted your world and allowed their banks to do it, forcing your women and children out onto the streets because they couldn't pay their mortgage, because you all believe that the way of life is the economy. It is how they've always built their economy, on the sickness and disease of all of you, even your children. And then they deny you the truth about what caused the disease. Well, sugar was your last warning. It rots teeth and bones. How many more times do you want to be told about this destructive element? A so-called natural element. Well, what are MSG and aspartame then? They're created in a laboratory by science. So if a so-called natural element is destroying you, what are the other ones doing to you? Well, you didn't bother rising up against that, did you? You rose up against the water tax because you wanted a few extra quid in your pocket to spend it on alcohol, cigarettes and drugs and sweets for your kids that destroy their teeth and bones. You didn't rise up what was in the water, one of the most destructive elements on earth. It was the main component of the atom bomb. And look what that does to the world around you. So therefore, what's it doing into the world inside you? That shows you how amazing you are with all this destruction going on inside you. Something is keeping you alive, people. It's called the truth. It's a place where you once all came from. But now your country's infested with liars because it's controlled by liars. You see, the British that brought the empire to our world once had a law, because I grew up there, that wouldn't allow any MP to be homosexual. Any MP. Fair play to the people of Ireland, you've gone one further. You've allowed a homosexual to be your leader. You see, because their science knew that anybody who has a diseased body has a diseased mind. Because the bravest man that ever graced this beautiful earth taught people to keep their bodies pure, because a pure body will reap pure minds. That is why one group of people keep their foods pure and clean. And they also avoid yeast that they recently were allowed to flood into all your foods. Sugar, parabens and yeast were flooded into all your foods and other toxins that are destroying you. And they're also allowed to sell you diseased, rancid meats and get away with it. What you are eating and what you are drinking is now killing you, and even what you are thinking. You don't look after yourself anymore, so therefore when you smoke and drink in front of your child, you're teaching your child that it's okay to smoke and drink. But then you feed them disease as well, because you're warned about sugar and you still treat your kids with a cake, a biscuit, a sweet, a bit of chocolate, a little bit of something bad, won't do them no harm. That's an insane ideology. Take a look around you. Look what that little bit of something bad has done to all of you now. It's grew up and killed many of your parents, and it is destroying the child that's in front of you. How can you ever reach salvation, and how can you ever save yourself when it is your own mind that it is destroying you? You see, the rule of law should never be used to kill you and trick you to kill yourselves. You need to understand the mind to understand why people have homosexual thoughts. And children in Sweden want necrophilia, which is sleeping with dead bodies, to be legalised. They want incest, which is sleeping with your own family, to be legalised also. Where did them thoughts come from then? Would you build a house and destroy it instantly? No, you'd be insane. You'd build a house and protect it. And you are all houses of God. And it is His truth that keeps you alive. It's what your DNA is made up of. In the beginning was the Word. That word, people, is the truth. But now you're infested with lies. You see, when somebody that's leading your country is a doctor, promotes a judge to the highest court instead of removing sugar from your foods, that is a clear indication of his intentions. And never question MSG and aspartame. What sort of a doctor is that? That doesn't care for the nation of Ireland? Because he doesn't. Because he also bribed the press to talk good of a policy of his that is going to decimate our culture forever. 1 million immigrants to come into Ireland with a different ideology. He bribed the press. So therefore that will teach you, when you understand the mind, that anyone that bribes thinks it's acceptable to take them. And all doctors work for the pharmaceutical industry because they palm out their drugs. So when he keeps quiet about MSG and aspartame made by the pharmaceutical industry, that will show you his intentions, people of Ireland. Because science and the rule of law and their religion always led the way of all the empires they built all throughout history, especially the British Empire, that is now urinating and shitting all over your land with their slurry. And they're even desecrating the courage and the gallant people of Ireland by forcing the will of the British Empire onto you, science and the rule of law. Your ancestors gallantly rose up against these systems because they knew that they were spread around the world by the liars, the cheats and the murderers that Jesus once called these people. Only a wise man knows this. But now you've all become blind fools. You see, smoking and drinking are created by science. And sugar is created by science. And the rule of law allows them to keep it in all your societies. Only a wise man rises up. And once upon a time the whole nation of Ireland was wise. But now look at you. You're all fools. What's caused your disease? You don't care. Why don't you care? Because that's what fluoride does to you. It makes you not care about yourself, your child, anyone around you, even the world around you. You need to care and start caring quickly, because your controllers don't give an shit about you, because many of them are not Irish.